If you have argued with your partner about financial topics, then you are not alone. Financial issues are one of the main causes of stress in a relationship and a major reason for divorce. Because marriage is not just a romantic affair, as many people often think. Once the initial excitement fades, it brings in a new set of challenges. How should we share expenses? How do we save for our future? If these challenges are not dealt with properly, this can lead to frustration, trust issues, and eventually separation. We don't want that, do we? So in this video, I'll help you to effectively address this topic and give you simple practical ways to handle money as a couple so that you and your partner can build a stress-free financial future together. So let's get started. If you're new here, my name is Srijat, and on this channel, I aim to make money the least of your worries by breaking down complex financial topics into simple, actionable steps. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on the internet sharing my experiences. So please do your own research before acting on anything I say here. Throughout history, marriage was less about love and mainly about economics and power. People often married to form alliances and share land resources and wealth. Love didn't become a major reason for marriage until the late 18th century. And gender equality wasn't in the picture until the 1970s.
On a farm in the 1880s, family life followed a pattern. The father was head of the family in the fullest sense of the word. The mother had regular duties, such as the preparing of food and keeping the farmhouse clean.
But today, things are different. Both partners often have their own careers and both contribute equally to the household finances. And this shift calls for a fresh approach to managing finances in the relationship. For example, it can feel unfair if your partner blames your shopping habits while he or she just bought a new expensive car. Or imagine one partner earning significantly less, yet wanting an equal or more say in financial decisions. These issues are tricky to address because it's often hard to know when or how to bring up these topics without affecting the relationship. And as a result, many couples avoid these conversations until they eventually boil over. But it doesn't have to be this way. Managing finances in marriage can be smooth and stress-free if approached logically. And this should start even before you tie the knot. We all grew up in families with different financial backgrounds. If you were raised in a wealthy family where spending was more flexible, you might have a similar approach to money, which you will ultimately bring into your relationship. This is why it's important to talk with your future partner about your views on saving, spending, borrowing, and giving. Chances are not all of your values will match. I know, talking about finances isn't the most exciting premarital activity, and money can always be a touchy subject. However, it's much better to discuss these issues before marriage than after. Why? Because of how current laws are structured, getting married can have significant financial consequences. And when it comes to financial habits, people rarely change. And on top of that, when we consider all the stigma and complication associated with divorce in society, it's better to make sure you and your partner are on the same page before you tie the knot. Marrying someone with similar values can make things a lot smoother. So before you exchange vows, talk with your partner about some key money topics like what are your financial goals? What are your fears about money? How much debt do you have? When you have these conversations, it's important to approach them with openness, love, and respect. Make it clear that you are not just prying about the finances. You are sharing yours too. This is also the time for both of you to be fully honest about your financial situation, including any assets and debts. If your partner avoids these discussions, take it as a red flag. And if you struggle to respect their views, it's equally concerning. But it doesn't mean you have to agree on everything perfectly. It's okay to have different approaches to money, but both parties should be ready to compromise and find common ground that honors both perspectives. And a wedding is a perfect occasion to put this to test. Everyone has different expectations for how the wedding day should look like. It's your special day, and the last thing I want to do is to take away any of the excitement. But weddings are a costly affair that can put you and your partner in long-term debt. So take a moment to consider whether a large extravagant wedding is something you truly want, or if it's an idea imposed on you by the society. Is a big wedding meaningful to you, or is it about impressing others? These are important questions to ask yourself. especially if the cost of the wedding are being covered by someone else, like your parents. But whatever you decide, planning the wedding together can be a wonderful first step in managing finances as a team. So consider opening a joint savings account with your partner specifically for the wedding expenses. And use this as an opportunity to openly discuss financial topics, make compromises, and work towards a shared financial goal. But truth be told, not all marriages will last forever. Even if yours is a match made in heaven, there is a good chance that things might not work out in the long run. So it might be a wise choice to spare a moment to consider a prenuptial agreement before marriage. This is a legal document that outlines how the assets will be divided in the event of a divorce. I understand this is a difficult topic to bring up, as most couples don't want to talk about divorce before even getting married. However, if both partners approach this conversation in a mature manner, it can actually increase openness and strengthen the bond in the relationship. It goes without saying that good communication is essential for a successful marriage. Yet, many couples rarely take the time to talk about their financial beliefs and goals. But most financial issues can be resolved if both partners genuinely listen and try to understand each other's perspectives. And the sooner you start talking about finances with your partner, the better. Because unmet expectations around money can grow into bigger conflicts. So make it a practice to discuss important financial topics like budgeting, investments, or any other goals such as buying a home with your partner regularly. It's likely that you and your partner won't agree 100% of the time, and sometimes their goals may conflict with yours. However, these discussions, if approached with an open mind, can often help to reach a common alignment. A good practice would be to set aside a fixed time every month to sit down together, discuss openly, and work toward finding a middle ground on financial issues. But for these discussions to be effective, it's important to adopt a mindset shift. In marriage, it shouldn't matter if one person is broke and the other one is a billionaire. When you marry, money should be shared equally. There will be times when one of you earns more or when one partner isn't earning an income at all. If you both agree that raising children or managing the home is as valuable as bringing in a paycheck, then any money coming into the household belongs to both of you. You are on the same team, so start acting like it. And this approach applies to debts as well. Think of the Lannisters in Game of Thrones.
Lannister always pays his debts.
You never see them blaming one person in the family for poor financial decisions or refusing to share the burden of repayment. While there are plenty of things not to learn from the Lannisters, this is one lesson worth taking to heart. Debts need to be paid, and a debt shared is a debt halved. But no matter how much money you have, if you don't manage it, it can quickly disappear. But who should manage it? Husband or the wife? Actually, neither one alone. The most effective way to handle finances is to assign tasks based on each person's strengths. Let the person who understands investments make the investment decisions, while the one with the saving mindset manages household expenses. The key is to have clear responsibilities for each task. Then, in your monthly discussions, you can review expenses, go over savings plans, discuss investments, address taxes, and discuss other financial topics together. Although there are several ways to manage money in a relationship, one method to avoid is keeping completely separate accounts and splitting bills individually. While this might seem harmless, it often leads to financial conflicts over time. A better alternative is a hybrid approach, where you maintain an individual account for personal income and expenses, but also hold a shared expenses on a pro rata basis, meaning the higher earner contributes a larger portion to the joint account. Additionally, each person should have a separate account for individual investments. Most people ignore this, but it's important to build individual assets because in the unfortunate case of divorce, assets are generally granted to the person who paid for them. Even after spending from a shared expense account, conflicts can still surface. One person might want to buy a $50,000 sports car, while the other would prefer to use that money as a down payment for an apartment. Or maybe one person insists on organic groceries while the other doesn't see the value. A solution to these conflicts is to establish a small, no question asked budget. Each partner gets a monthly cash allowance that they can spend however they want, free from questions or judgment. And for larger purchases, both should agree, with each having the option to veto. As in any other situation, communication, open-mindedness, and compromise is the key. I know money can be a sensitive subject, But managing it well is essential for a stable and successful relationship and also for your own peace of mind. If you're unsure how to start the conversation, consider sharing this video as a starting point and then ease into the discussion from there. I hope you found some value in this video. If you're interested in learning practical tips to build a complete financial plan and reach the top 1%, then be sure to check out this video. And for more content for building wealth and smart financial habits, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day and adios.